Welcome, descendants of Erdrick. We have Game 3 of a Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament series between HoodyTwoShoes and Felissan. They had so much fun in the previous two seeds, ran yesterday and earlier today, that they wanted to do it one more time. HoodyTwoShoes took Game 1, Felissan took Game 2. This is a best-of-3 series. The winner of this race moves on to the round of 16 bracket elimination, and the other person ends up eliminated. High stakes for this one. I'm Destiny of a Dragon Warrior on commentary. Joining me is Diabetes II. Welcome, Diabetes.
Thank you for welcoming me in here last second. I agree, this is going to be a banger of a race. Hoodie and Felissan took the challenging routes to get here, certainly. Felissan had to deal with that tiebreaker scenario in the Cantlin group to get through, won that, and took the number 2 seed in that group. Hoodie got through in his group, the Temperature group, again, another really tough one. Took 3rd there. We're 1-1. Taking a look quickly at the stats, 13 strength is not too shabby. 31 HP is pretty nice. No spells to start. So it may be a map positioning and see what Zone 0 has to bring.
Always curious what we're going to start off with the 2 chests in the throne room. Here we go. We have the Goomba versus the female wizard from Dragon Warrior 3. Urban Torch. That torch could be used to throw against an early enemy, perhaps, although 13 strength can still bring some enemies down. No gold to start with, no spells, so we'll be chopping along and trying to get these first couple of levels to toughen up. Oh, we're at the top of the map again. We were at the top of the map in the previous race.
Yeah, only 6 steps from the top, so we could be looking at a single reverse, double reverse. We haven't seen our east-west positioning yet. 2 good enemies on either side. Hoodie's got the Scorpion. Magician with Hurt on Felissan's side. After taking a couple of swings at each, they'll each throw a torch, and they will each get their first kill. Hoodie well on his way to level 3. Felissan about halfway there, but we'll see what level 2 has to bring.
1-19-0-0. 19 agility, a nice boost for running away from enemies and some defense, but just a little bit of strength, no spells. Still going to be chopping away at Zone 1 here. Hoodie making his way towards the east, probably trying to check if this is going to be another coastline. Felissan doing the same.
Now, it looks like it might be the way off of this little horizontal island here at the top. Unfortunately, a wyvern sighting for Hoodie. So Temperature seems to be fairly close to the eastern edge of that Zone 0. We're able to traverse all the way through Zone 1 without getting off that island. Still nothing else sighted here except for the Demon Knight.
Yeah, Hoodie took, 2 or 3 steps to the west and encountered a Warlock, so Zone 1 is right up against that. Felissan makes it to a town, and it's the town of Cole, baby!
This could be a massive find. This is really just an out-of-resources search, and we find the armor. Wow, that is a huge pickup this early. Still not a lot to work with on the offensive side, but now you can plink things down in peace.
Yeah, that heavy defense from Erdrick's armor is going to be defense breaking all Zone 0, Zone 1, Zone 2 enemies like this Magidrakey here, so it's just a matter of time before Felissan takes it down. Meanwhile, over on HoodyTwoShoes' side, takes down a Magician for level 3. Well, there's the power. 17, 3, 8, 8, and heal more. So still a good find by Felissan being able to walk to Cole and pick up the armor, but level 3 gives a lot of help for Hoodie to be able to take down these similar enemies.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a fun bailout there. So heal more, not optimal, obviously. We've only got 39 max HP, only 8 MP, so a single cast, but it does sort of break up the difference between not having the healed regen walking of Erdrick's armor.
Felissan was sent home by a metal slime with DL2 breath. Ouch.
I suppose at least you're seeing it after you've already gotten that big strength level, so you're not worried about, oh man, what could have been? It couldn't have run away. No, this one could have. It just decided to do so in a slightly more bombastic way.
4691 are the stack gains at level 4 for Felissan, so a little bit more HP. That's helpful.
I was going to say, it looks like maybe both of our runners are going to stick around and grind a little bit. Felissan poking her head out a little bit further, a little bit bolder with that extra defense, the walking regen, the protection from breath and hurt and hurt more. Still probably not going to do too much beyond zones 0, 1, and 2, but has the opportunity, as we see the wolf on Hoody's side, to take down some of those larger enemies. Slowly, but consistently.
Wolf is a good find, and as we see a lot of swamp tiles continuing to the west, Felissan choosing to turn around at the moment, but that's going to be difficult for HoodyTwoShoes to potentially navigate with only one heal more and without that heal walking and protection from those swamp damage tiles with Erdrick's armor. A lot of benefits from Erdrick's armor as Felissan gets level 5. 1, 0, 35, 3, sleep, hurt more. Game on.
Yeah, all of a sudden that armor, it's still important, but that Hurt More spell can be a big neutralizer here, along with that high HP boost. So all of a sudden, this is a race to find the things, it seems.
Of course, it would be nice for Hoody to have Erdrick's armor rather than not have Erdrick's armor, but with good HP, hurt more, heal more, it's not as much of a disadvantage as it otherwise would be without all of that HP and firepower from hurt more.
Yep, Hoody has now joined Felissan at level 5. We'll probably be on the lookout for some slightly better enemies. It's good that we see Hoody heading back to the east. Hopefully he can find Cole and Erdrick's armor fairly quickly as well, as Felissan goes back to the west and finds Mountain Cave. 5 chests here.
Chest 1 is Wings, as Hoody does make his way towards the east and find some of those better enemies. We saw a Wyvern earlier, there's a Wolf Lord. That's perfect hurt more targets at this point in time.
And double red dragons, everyone's favorite. It's a perfect enemy when you have hurt more, right? Hurt more and very low agility and very low stats. And it's got DL2. Oh boy.
Those red dragons are going to be consequence later on in Sharlock, or if they're a spike enemy here. Felissan, I didn't see Felissan clear chest, what I call chest number 2 in Mountain. Did anyone see that, or did Felissan go up in Mountain Cave towards the 2 chests first?
I think we saw chest 2 was a cursed belt, so we have slight cursed belt knowledge, but not a whole lot else.
Okay, 1 cursed belt accounts for the armor in Cole. So 3 chests remaining in Mountain Cave for Felissan. Looks like she might be headed in the opposite direction, going towards that favorable zone.
I think this makes sense. I mean, she did not check, I don't think, the coal shop when she was in that vicinity. Could look just to see if I find a gold chest in Mountain Cave. Maybe I find a key, do I want to do a gold grind? Having that information is good. Plus, we've seen some solid enemies over here. And, Red Dragon, kind of a dissuasion to go back.
Definitely. Level 7 for Felissan. 6, 5, 3, 6. A little bit more of everything.
Yeah, the MP really lacking so far. It's a little spooky with only 4 hurt mores or a couple of heal mores. So definitely going to be relying on that survivability and maybe hacking things down a bit. So a weapon would be preferable if we can source one.
We'll see if Hoody can avoid the red dragons and perhaps other nasties here in Mountain Cave. And as Chad is noting, it looks like Felissan is doing the complete offset, both the north-south as well as the east-west tiles there. Hoody picks up level 7 as well.
Copper sword, flame sword, small shield, silver shield available in Cole. Looks like only a small shield pickup for Felissan. No copper sword. I'm a bit surprised by that. It's kind of those enemies that are the early Sharlock enemies, your green dragons, your axe knights, your star wyverns, your werewolves. You might not have the attack power to swing or punch, I guess, without a weapon here. So interesting option.
HoodyTwoShoes, almost out of resources, was given the business by a rogue scorpion with both sleep and hurt more on the first floor of Mountain, and isn't able to run from the wolf lord and gets exact damage at 15. So both Hoodie and Felissan only clearing the first 2 chests in Mountain.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. You'd think with 51 agility, you're not too worried about a wolf lord, but when it high rolls and it happens to hit exactly what you've got, that does not feel good. Hoodie looking to be heading back in the same direction. Again, he did not see the red dragon down there. He did see the wolf lord. It's like, there's 3 more chests down there, a couple of good enemies. It's close by. Let's take another peek.
Level 8 for Felissan. 4, 4, 31 more HP and 2 more MP. What is that? 5 times, almost 6 times as much HP as MP? Wild stat gross again from the randomizer.
Yeah, that's 125 everything but HP and 123 HP, so we're almost equal there. Very interesting stat spread. We'll have to see when this MP is going to rebound and whether or not our runners are going to be able to easily cope with the fact that the resources are just not there on the casting front, despite how much they really want to cast these spells.
Stones of Sunlight and Erdrick's Sword found in chests 3 and 4. Well, there's an equalizer from HoodyTwoShoes, not getting to Cole with the armor yet. HoodyTwoShoes picked up sword and stones in Mountain Cave. Trying to get away from the red dragon, throws a hurt more, no effect of course, and gets sent home. So now just chest 5 abandoned for HoodyTwoShoes. We'll see how long it takes Felissan to make it back to Mountain Cave, choosing to grind in this favorable zone here north of Cole.
Yeah, this is not just a hair on fire seed, this seems to be a pants on fire seed too, because holy moly, we could be in for an absolute lightning fast seed here. We've got a lot of things. We're still looking for some quest items, of course. There's a lot of locations, a lot of map, and there are so many equalizers as we've already seen. Again, the Rogue Scorpion and the Red Dragon with DL2 Breath, so oh boy, gotta go the right direction and find the right things.
Red Dragon popped up in the zone that Felissan was grinding in, so that's a sign to move on from there. Hoodie peeking to the north of Mountain Cave there. Greeted by a metal slime. Just crit! Gets an excellent move on the metal slime. I'm pretty sure Hoodie has not seen the DL2 breath yet from the metal slime. Picks up level 8 there. Wow.
That nearly erases the gap that Felissan had opened up as well with you know, all the hurt mooring she's been doing over here just outside of Cole, so not quite there, although, oh, I thought she was going to take down a metal as well, not quite.
And what's amazing is Hoodie doesn't have Erdrick's armor, remember, so the DL2 breath from the metal slime would have dealt 65 to 72 damage to Hoodie without the armor, rather than 42 to 48 with the armor to Felissan. Very interesting. Hoodie got away from the metal slime, finds another one here, and there learns about the DL2 breath, but he's got to be very happy with getting that one metal slime there.
Yeah, that's really just a bonus metal slime, no doubt about it, especially with that information now. You feel lucky that you got it. Maybe you think that you got a little stuck a fast one on your opponent there, but again, with Hurtmore, it's still impactful, but it is a heck of a lot less impactful if we were, again, still plinking things down in the early game. Level 9 for Felissan now. 2, 5, 21 more HP, as if we needed more. And 3. So Death Necklace HP here at level 9. Just easy game.
So at this rate, we're going to be going at level 18 with 250 HP, right? That's how it works? The randomizer has to curve these stats down at some point.
Oh, hopefully we'll just filter a little bit of that into the MP, because currently 3 heal mores is not exactly ideal.
that might be the biggest barrier to ghost stats as we continue along here.
It's going to be a barrier, especially for Hoodie in the exploration phase. If he's not able to source that armor, he really needs to get over there because all of these enemies that he's trying to fight are really just sapping away his resources as he picks up level 9 as well. And he does indeed find the town of Cole. So that'll be a nice pickup for him. Now it'll be Felissan who is down an item.
Possibly one of those feel bad moments, but yeah, with good strength, getting Erdrick's sword, getting hurt more and heal more, not as much of an impact with the way this seed has developed as it could have been in a lot of other different scenarios. So now HoodyTwoShoes is decked out with both Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor.
Had the opportunity to pick up a small shield there, and Cole has decided not to. Probably looking for the large shield. It's 4 defense that's left on the table. It's a couple extra enemies, perhaps depending on your exact stats that you may be repelling, but no fairy waters, no repel as yet, so it's really not making a huge difference now.
Just a couple hundred experience point lead here for Felissan, which we know is negligible in the long run at this point with the ability to get XP so quickly. But we'll have to watch and see. Perhaps the next big threshold here, besides Felissan continuing to clear Mountain Cave and pick up Erdrick's sword, is going to be the race to keys. Once we find keys either in the town of Rimalder or loose in a cave or other location, it opens up the back of Garanham when we find it, the treasury at Tantagel, the caves underneath both of those locations, possible coordinates of Cantlin. So we'll see when keys plays a role into this seed as the runners continue to explore.
Yeah, I agree. Order of operations is going to be big in this one. It seems like they've mostly covered the same areas so far. Both of them are now kind of east around and south, now west of Cole, seeing if they see anything. We do see a cave across the water on Hoodie's side. That is new. But we do not see a pathway to get there quite yet, and I think this is going to dead end for him. This might actually be all dead end over here. We might be forced to go west past Mountain Cave.
Yeah, there's another piece of dead end for Felissan just north of the other bridges and desert tiles. That's where Hoodie is approaching. Gonna high-five each other at the moment, although Felissan is busy failing to run from this red dragon and gets sent back home. So Felissan might be continuing exploration from Tantagel going towards the west. We'll have to see here in a moment. Yeah, so Felissan headed towards the west, probably going to try to clear Mountain Cave. We know that 2 of the 3 remaining chests are going to be Erdrick's Sword and Stones of Sunlight, which will catch Felissan up on items. Might be able to clear chest 5, which we have not seen from either player.
Yeah, should be a lot more confident with clearing everything now. Again, only 3 heal more, so it's not a ton of extra resources. But with the armor, you have a little bit of extra protection against that breath. Tons of HP, as long as anything silly doesn't happen. Oh, we actually do have another location here off to the east, and in a dead end we find Cantlin. Unfortunately, no keys, so the best we're going to find here is a large shield for HoodyTwoShoes.
We'll see if that's a benefit or a detriment for Felissan not seeing Cantlin over there. Might be better to find it when you do have keys. Felissan does make it to chest 3 and 4 in Mountain Cave, so picks up Stones of Sunlight as well as Erdrick's Sword. And we're about to get a peek, if the Red Dragons allow us, of chest 5. Wolf Lord will allow us, if it stops dodging. And chest 5 in Mountain is, it's a key! Look at that. There is possibly another game-breaking item here. It's just 1 key, but with Felissan ends up back at home, she'll be able to use that 1 key to go into the back of Tantagel and buy all the keys that she needs.
Man, back and forth in Mountain Cave, not getting to those chests 3 and 4, then getting somebody else gets to 3 and 4 on Hoody's side. Now Felissan gets 5 and its keys. Oh boy. Lots and lots of back and forth here. We'll see if Hoody dips back in there. It's not the longest check in the world to go down into the Mountain Cave, and he's angling in that direction. He'll be very pleased if he does. He'll be very disappointed if he doesn't.
Felissan picked up the next level. Only 5 more MP there at level 10, but up to 152 HP as HoodyTwoShoes also picks up level 10. They are even on experience. And Felissan walking out of Mountain Cave. Will she try to hang out in here and potentially set up a gold grind, take a death out of here? Might be difficult having such good HP and defense.
Yeah, had the red
exiting.
Yeah, it might be. She had the red dragon possibility on the bottom floor, just was not getting the encounter that she needed, perhaps just deciding to walk it out here. Not unreasonable. Again, you've already got sword and armor. You're only grinding for silver shield. You do know it exists. You do know exactly where it is, but still, not necessarily the highest of priorities now.
HoodyTwoShoes trying to make his way down to clear chest 5. Red Dragon is making it difficult. That's the one variable here. Those red dragons with the DL2 breath. You can run away from them eventually, but just one encounter like that is going to exhaust a lot of resources. Another encounter for Hoody, and it's just a Wolf Lord, relatively harmless, so a few steps away from getting his key as well. As Felissan does exactly that, gets back home and purchases more keys. HoodyTwoShoes does pick up his single key out of Mountain.
Looks like Hoody is going to try to walk it back. Well, he gets the red dragon with 1 step left. He might try to take out this red dragon versus just take the death warp if it will give it to him.
Underneath Tantagel is the Staff of Rain trade-in. We need the Silver Harp to talk to that wizard fella and get the Staff of Rain, so not immediately useful. Hoody does take the death from the Red Dragon out of Mountain Cave. And in the treasury, we have gold, a second gold chest, fairy water in the lower right, and an herb in the middle.
So depending on the order here, I think Hoody picked up... Did he pick up more than just 1 chest? I think he only picked up the chest he needed. He did not pick up chest number 2 on the walk out, so he does not have the ability to do a gold grind here, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending. You never know. Sometimes it's that extra minute that you waste doing it when you didn't really need to. But at the same time, it would be kind of nice. I was a bit surprised when he was in Cantlin a few minutes ago, he did not elect to load up on fairy waters when he loaded up on herbs. Could be kind of important to keep a lot of those trash mobs away.
Yeah, some players are really, I guess you could say, aggressive about buying fairy waters. They'll stock up on them, especially when you're at level 10 and have not learned repel yet, and there's a lot of enemies that you'll be happy to repel. But at the same time, you'll be repelling those mid-game Wolf Lord, Wyvern, Magiwyvern types of enemies that are still really good for experience with hurt more. So it kind of works both ways.
And chat reminding us as well again, he did find that large shield too. If he didn't, and if he were either without a shield or perhaps just had the small shield, that might have tilted it more in the direction of just giving it a go, but I think this is a perfectly defensible approach here.
Yeah, that's definitely a fine perspective. You got Airdrick's sword, Airdrick's armor, large shield, never check a weapon shop again.
All right, both back on the hunt. I imagine Hoody is going to beeline it back to Cantlin, since he does know where that is, has the opportunity to check for coordinates. I didn't quite see where Felissan had walked to. Might be continuing exploration on this side too, which would be good because Cantlin is over here. Although this might be a different town going to the west.
I to say I like what Felissan did there just a minute ago on the Demon Knight. Got a swing and dealt significant damage, but not enough to take it down, and then used the Fairy Water to finish it off. Demon Knight's a dodgy enemy, but can't dodge Fairy Water. So, simultaneous checks here. HoodyTwoShoes shows that there are no coordinates. Meanwhile, the town Felissan found is Hawksness with a green dragon on the spike. Ooh, with Stop Spell. Definitely should be able to take this down and see if there is an item underneath here in Hawk.
This is a very free green dragon. Unfortunately, did not have any resources left to cast Heartmore on it, but it's got Stop Spell. And it's got Weak Fire Breath 4/4, 12/9, because why not get some more HP? And the Death Necklace. So again, not a game-changing item. However, we are very much going to probably want that in the end game. So a good find as well for Felissan.
Yeah, I think that's an important item given the stats of this seed. Much better to get it there where it's required for the players. They're going to come across Hawksness and want to defeat that enemy and get it down here, rather than it being in some random chest in Sharlock or perhaps in Deep Grave that might not need to be checked. So they're likely going to... Felissan does have Death Necklace. Hoodie will likely pick it up along his adventures, and so they will have that Death Necklace, which reduces hit points when equipped by 25% at the benefit of an additional 10 attack power.
But you're going to try to take down this red dragon. Again, a nice smart heads-up play here. It's a solid 350 XP if he can get it down. Has to play nice with the DL2 breath, but should have no problem except for the dodge. Commentator's Curse. Nicely done, DB2.
I like the awareness of healing at 45, knowing that you have over 150 maximum HP. There's no reason to try to squeeze out a swing there at 45.
Yeah, we both saw it.
Oh my. Hoodie does get away.
Yeah, he got away, but if y'all didn't catch it, heal more on the red dragon. So all that trolling and all that nonsense, and we didn't even get the 350 out of it. And we found Brecconary to boot. Yay.
So, difference in exploration here, taking different paths. HoodyTwoShoes found Brecconary. Felissan finds Garenham, not far from Hawksness. Felissan does have keys, so we will get a check here behind Garenham. 3 treasure chests. Gold. There's that silver harp we need to trade in at home, and another gold chest. I think we've seen all the possible gold chests, I would imagine. Another red dragon encounter for HoodyTwoShoes, knows to not fight it at this point. And underneath Garenham is the Vanilla Garen's grave.
It's another good find. We have 5 treasure chests here. We've already seen our complement of search tiles. Cole, we already know, had the armor. Hawksness had the Death Necklace and no coordinates, so we are going to find our token in a chest. This is the densest location for chests in the game. 8 total checks between Garenham and the grave. Top of the grave has 3. We find the torch, the herb, and the Erdrick's token. Good to go. That is grind and go, plus do the turn-ins for Felissan. Does not even need to dig through the grave here.
Wow, so routing definitely plays a big role here. Felissan comes across all the locations that she needed. HoodyTwoShoes, we know, needs to find Garenham as soon as possible for the harp and the token.
And a reminder to everybody, this is game 3 in this series. Hoodie took game 1, I believe, yesterday afternoon. Felissan took game 2 earlier in the afternoon today. So this is a winner-go-home situation. It certainly seems like Felissan has the advantage, at least in the finding things phase. Hoodie's going to pick up level 11 to join her. So it really is going to be incumbent on Hoodie here to find the locations that he needs.
we're talking in chat and assuming, okay, Felissan, go to Hawksnest, fight that green dragon until go mode and you're ready to go. One other variable is we have not seen Swamp Cave. If there is a superior enemy there in Swamp Cave, perhaps an Axe Knight or even a Golem without any nasty abilities, that could be a swing in the grind in being able to quickly grind to go mode, depending on who comes that way or finds that potential enemy. But that's a lot of hypotheticals. The main thing for Hoodie is to find the one location that has the rest of the items that's going to be needed, Garenham.
And two more things that we're just seeing on both sides. One, Hoodie learns that the Axe Knight has Heal More. Annoying, but still, you deal with the Hurt More, and if it Heal Mores, if you don't kill it, fine, or you attack Hurt More, that's also an option. And on the other side, Felissan, Hoodie did have this at the time that he faced that red, but had already burned a lot of resources. They do have Stop Spell, and Felissan was able to land the Stop Spell on that red dragon after learning it had Heal More. So should, barring running out of resources, be able to take this one out. So that is something to consider. If we keep finding reds, if Stop Spell lands, they could still be at least an acceptable grind.
And triggered the heal attempt from the red dragon on potentially the last swing, and that gets Felissan level 12. 10 power, 7, 1, 30 MP. Big boost in MP there for Felissan.
Yeah, that is a huge pickup. Now we need to start thinking, believe it or not, even at this early of a level, start thinking about some Dragon Lord math. Just with the HP being so high, we're still in doubles range post-Death Necklace. I'm not super convinced that 114 on a 3 to 7 range is going to be enough to kill the Dragon Lord, but we could be approaching go level faster than our runners have secured everything, particularly on Hoodie's side.
Yeah, checking things off here for Felissan. Felissan has not seen the Rainbow Drop trade in Cave. That's over by Hoodie's exploration. Hoodie saw that. And neither player has seen Charlock. We can't finish the game without finding Charlock. So Felissan still does have some exploration left to do. Meanwhile, Hoodie does find Hawksness here. Gets the Green Dragon knowledge. Is going to pick up the Death Necklace. And Garenham is nearby Hawksness. I'm not sure exactly in what direction. Oh, would you take a look at that? Hoodie equipped the Death Necklace.
That is risky. So one of the things that we do have to factor in here, I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but the staff trade-in is in the basement of Tantegel, so he will have to unequip that at some point before actually completing the game.
Yes, there's nothing inherently wrong with preemptively equipping the Death Necklace, unless there's something that you still need to do in Tantegel, which is the case, because you are not allowed back into your home castle while you are cursed.
I mean, it will serve him well since he does not have the big MP boost to level 12 yet, so he should be able to just hack through these green dragons pretty effectively, but again, the extra 10 attack power here doesn't make that much of a difference for the number of swings. I think he kind of probably just feels like he's going to need to sit here until he's go stats, which kind of feels bad.
Yeah, and got the big MP level there at level 12. Hoodie does know where Breckenary is, so Hoodie does have the knowledge of the town to unequip the Death Necklace when it comes time to do that. It's just that Hoodie will need to do that, and then Hoodie will be without the Death Necklace for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, that might actually be the more significant impact here. If the strength just does not quite get there, and Ghost Stats would be present with the Death Necklace, but not without, that could mean an extra level of grinding for Hoodie, perhaps even more. So we'll just have to see what the randomizer decides for the level stat gains here moving forward.
Yeah, once you get over 140 hit points, the doubles math you kind of throw out the window. Like, whether you're at 160 or 170 hit points, that doesn't matter in the Dragon Lord fight, besides maybe squeezing out an additional swing on the first round. So maybe that part of the logic of making that work, I'm not sure. Trying to figure out the different scenarios with the Death Necklace not being available later on. Felissan, meanwhile, does set eyes on Charlock on a far edge of the map. I'm not sure how long she's been walking or if it's even accessible.
It's kind of looking like it's not. I don't think we saw a pathway up to the northeast above it, and it does not appear that we're able to access the entry from the southeast either, so this could be a second continent access Sharlock.
It seems that way. So if that's the case, we'll likely get knowledge of the swamp spike that we had mentioned earlier as well. As Felissan continues to walk while repelling the world, Hoodie is grinding and is approaching level 13 here in just another one or two of these green dragons.
Yeah, I think the numbers are really going to decide what Hoodie elects to do here. Because again, as soon as he gets rid of that death necklace, he loses the strength boost, he regains his max HP, but then it is gone for good. It would seem that you'd probably want to try to wrap up all your grinding while you have the boost, and then just try to wrap up all the exploration you need to do. It's just, he's missing a couple of key locations that he needs to find as quickly as possible. And it's not going to feel great if you've already got the go level before you find them. But that's kind of the position he's put himself in here.
Yeah, fortunately, the way that it turns out is Hoodie, I don't believe, is far from Garenham, but he doesn't know that. 1, 2, 2, 7, and outside is what we gain at level 13.
Well, finally a dud level. We haven't had too many of those in this seed, but that really doesn't change anything or give us any firm information as to whether or not this Death Necklace play is going to be a backfire or a boon. We'll have to see.
And there's HoodyTwoShoes finding Garenham just a little bit to the northwest of Hawksness. It's going to get the refill and then do the checks that we know will present him with the remaining 2 rainbow drop components that he needs to be in the same grind and go position as Felissan. Now, Hoodie has seen the rainbow drop trading cave, but has not seen Sharlock, which Felissan has seen across the water, but likely needs to find Swamp Cave to be able to get to said Sharlock, as Felissan hits level 13 as well.
All right, Hoodie's definitely going to feel a little bit better finally with getting these locations, but he, again, may be thinking, geez, if I didn't do what I did, and maybe I would have gotten here earlier, I'd already be in grind and go, I probably wouldn't have done the Death Necklace. Again, we're going to have to ask if that was intentional or not. I imagine that it wasn't, but, you know, we'll just have to see. When it comes to these game 3s, winner take all, sometimes some strange decision-making does take place. So it may have been a meta play for something that just either does or doesn't work out. Slight bonus. He does have outside, so a quick egress that Felissan didn't have.
20-second save there with outside. I love that. It might have just been reaction of, okay, I've got the Death Necklace, I've got a bazillion hit points, not even thinking through that, hey, I still need to do the harp trade-in for the Staff of Rain back at home. So that might not even have put that together if Hoodie wasn't thinking about that at the moment, just thinking, I've got 1,000,000 HP, let's just put on the Death Necklace and go with it. As Felissan does exactly that, is back at home and trades in the Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain.
All right, she is just 1 turn in, plus finding the access to Sharlock Castle, away from fully being grind and go. Hoodie, meanwhile, backtracked after getting his remaining quest items to Hawksness, presumably to continue the grind. Again, he's going to have to unequip or be uncursed, so he is probably going to do all of his grinding before doing all of his turn-ins.
That makes sense to me. Felissan now finds Caitlin. Now, Felissan has all information and has all items, is upgrading to the large shield. That's a good move. Get your defense there taken care of with the large shield. Yeah, double check of all the items. Felissan doesn't need to do a coordinates check unless she's thinking if it's super easy coordinates and I want the fairy flute for golems, perhaps. She is stocking up on fairy waters.
Trolled a little bit by the NPCs in Caitlin, because you can't go through Caitlin or Garenham or Breckenary or really anywhere without getting trolled a little bit. but does elect not to check coordinates. I think that's the right play. It's really going to be very, very specific, because we haven't even seen any golems in this seed so far to know whether or not you're going to encounter one on the spike tile and whether it's going to be relevant. So I think this is a good skip.
Yep, got to be aggressive here with the Jetty seed and being in grind and go effectively without getting to the Rainbow Drop Cave and to Sharlock. So, yeah, coordinates not going to be beneficial, really. HoodyTwoShoes, couple more green dragons now from level 14, has definitely gotten several hundred experience lead over Felissan.
Now that lead is just not quite accelerating or being gained quite as quickly. Again, he doesn't know, but quite as quickly as perhaps it would be nice to have. Felissan's just still kind of hanging around. Those stray red dragons every now and again have really kind of helped her stay around. And we do know that she's already done at least one turn in, so it's hard to say who exactly is ahead here. Hoodie has more knowledge. Felissan has a little bit more turn in already done.
And let's not forget the red dragons with DL2 breath. Although we're going to have a big cushion with HP going through Sharlock and hopefully a cushion on Healmores, if there's some bad run luck or the red dragons are all over Sharlock and just say nope and give at least one of these runners from trouble, that could certainly change things here as the seed progresses if we get dueling Sharlock dives. Nice strength gain there at level 14 for HoodyTwoShoes. 9 more strength with Erdrick's sword puts him at 124 attack power. We're starting to sniff some possible go levels for attack power. At least we're within reach. Maybe another level. And there's Felissan finding the Rainbow Drop Cave, which Hoodie has already seen but has not done the trade-in. So Felissan has traded in for the Rainbow Drop. She just needs to figure out how to get the Sharlock and what she wants to do for a grind here.
And again, we're kind of in that interesting position. We've got about a 1200 XP lead that Hoodie has been able to secure here, depending on what Felissan elects to do on the grind. That could stay the same or start to shrink or balloon a little bit. Felissan's already done her homework. Hoodie will still have to catch up on that. And then, of course, it still is going to come down to the stats. What exactly does Hoodie get, and is it going to allow him to win with, let's say, Fairy Waters and the time investment to pick those up, and not having the Death Necklace?
Felissan appears to be on a mission for Swamp Cave. She walked past the town that I believe it was Breckenary, without even checking it, and she peeked in the cave, which was Tablet Cave, and noped right out of it. So very focused on what she needs to do here. Just looking for Swamp Cave, I believe, to get over to Sharlock area. Have we seen all of the towns? We have not seen the town of Rimuldar, so it's possible we have a healing town near Sharlock. If that's not the case, Sharlock is going to be far away from any ability to recoup and get your stats back. This could be a haul if Rimuldar's not right there by Sharlock.
Yeah, I still think that she is looking for that entryway to Sharlock as well, so she may want to actually lay eyes on it before actually committing to one or the other at this point. And plus, if she's able to find that Swamp Cave, if it's a good grind, we don't know. It's just, again, it's that tough situation. Do you go with what you know, or do you go and try to find something that could be better? But I think she's really looking for that Sharlock entry.
Okay, and that for a moment I got excited because we saw a cave there, but it looks like that was just a lake that looped her back up around to Tablet Cave. There is a piece here to walk to the east. And that's a dead end as well. Where in the world is Swamp Cave?
I'm almost struggling to think of where it's going to connect to as well. It seems like we've seen just about everything. I have to imagine it's going to lead to a small island of nothingness at this point.
And that was a different town that Felissan walked by, just for the record. That we can deduce that that was the town of Rimalder that she walked by. And I believe we have it here. Yes, Swamp North for Felissan as Hoodie refuels in Brecconary. Felissan is going to check the Swamp Spike. I like that. It's another green dragon.
Well, no direct benefit there, although it is going to at least get her into a grind. She really just needs to do that at this point. Hoodie has opened up nearly a 1600 XP lead at this point. Hoodie is going to dump the Death Necklace. He is uncursed. Unfortunately, he does not have return or wings, so he's either going to have to hoof it or head to Cole or Cantlin to get back home. I think he was really hoping for return to happen at level 14.
Felissan is going back up through Swamp Cave, possibly looking for a town to heal in?
I think she's still looking for that Charlock entry point. She didn't fully explore this. This could loop around to where Charlock enters. It doesn't. So now I would imagine she's going to go through Swamp and just be perfectly sure that that's where she needs to go. Or not. Just ignore me. I don't know anything.
Same, Diabetes, same. Okay, so Hoodie does make his way back to Tantagel, is going to presumably do the Silver Heart trade-in for the Staff of Rain. Felissan does get to Rimalder here and is going to top off at the inn. Might get a check of that additional chest there. Fighter's Ring has not been located. Might want the 2 additional attack power.
Curious. Hoodie headed into the Tantagel Treasury and picked up a couple of treasure chests. I'm not exactly sure what he was interested in. I suppose he did pick up wings, and that could be useful depending on when return comes versus the gold level. Not a bad pickup. He did pick up gold as well. I thought he might pick up both. Probably not going to get to Silver Shield money, incidentally, but if the grind continues, it's not impossible.
Would just be a couple of checks away from clearing those treasure chests to get up to the nearly 15,000 gold, but elects not to. As Felissan here is right near the Charlock entrance, it seems.
I think she actually did confirm that the entrance is on this side. So this is either it's a single continent and somehow we haven't seen the other end of Swamp Cave, or it is here on the Prime Continent by a very circuitous route.
Hoodie back at Brecconary going to stock up on fairy waters as well. Felissan just hit level 14, so equal levels technically with HoodyTwoShoes, although Hoodie is one good enemy away from level 15 here. So about a full level difference between the two, but again, that can be made up pretty quickly if it takes Hoodie a while to do this exploration towards Charlock that Felissan has now done.
Yeah, I think he might be banking on perhaps he's just going to be able to book it as soon as he finds the entrance. He goes, that whatever this level is going to give him enough in terms of strength. He's filled up as much as he can be on fairy waters. It's already sort of borderline because, again, he's got so many hit points post Death Necklace that he'll still have room for doubles. It's just the range is bad without the Death Necklace. I don't know if the numbers are there for him.
So it seems Felissan has figured out the map and has now made her way back to Hawksness here and is going to be grinding to go stats. So the clock is ticking for Hoodie to continue to grind and get levels for what might be go, might be 15, might need another level or 2 beyond that, as well as to find the way to Swamp Cave, which is the path to Charlock. That probably is the trickiest part of the map we've determined.
I'm glad he's picking up this Stone Man encounter here. It gives him the level, it gives him knowledge, it gives us knowledge too, which is nice. But now he'll know for sure, can he go or not? 7122.
So without Death Necklace, that's 121 attack power. That doesn't feel like enough. Even with all that HP and so many doubles potentially, I think you're going to want more than that, even if you do stock up on Fairy Waters, which, come to think of it, Hoodie does have a lot of inventory slots for Fairy Waters. Got rid of the Death Necklace, doesn't have the Fairy Flute, didn't need Gwaelin's Love because there's no coordinates, so that's a full load of Fairy Waters.
Yeah, he can carry, I believe, up to 7 as a result. He only has, I believe, 4, because he does have Wings and the drop, and he bought them before he did the trade-in, so he had 2 extra slots taken, so he only has 4. If he had 7, again, we're 121 attack power, 5 to 10 damage, 7.5-ish on average. Those Fairy Waters make a huge difference. If he had the Death Necklace, I think 15 is a clear go. I think if he had 1 more MP, he'd feel a lot more confident about going as well. Just 1 MP short of an extra heal more.
And as you're pointing out there, 15 with Death Necklace feels like it could be go. Felissan is on her way to being in that position. Just a couple more green dragons, and then we'll see if Felissan feels comfortable with the stats of a bazillion HP plus the 11 heal mores, and that would put her at 131 attack power, adding on the additional 10 from the Death Necklace that she still has, the Hoodie had to dispose of by getting uncursed with that early equip.
Yeah, Hoodie, I think, is just desperately looking for that entry to Sharlock at this point. I don't even know if he's seen Sharlock to this stage. I can't imagine there has a whole lot of map left that he has yet to explore, and yet, here we are.
It was just a little bit across the water on Felissan's screen. I think just as you were coming down south, maybe near the eastern side. Felissan taking a good look at the stats, maybe doing some calculation, and is heading on out. Felissan, I believe, is getting ready to go. Is out of resources anyways, so maybe not. Might still be doing a refill, but I think a lot of people would agree that those are goable stats.
Oh, 100%. I think in a winner-take-all situation, in a seed that has been this fast, this, again, hair on fire, pants on fire, everything is on fire, including, you know, our heroes because the red dragons. But, like, I think you have to go in this situation. Could there be adversity in Sharlock if you run into some red dragons and for whatever reason can't run? Sure. But I think you owe it to yourself to go at this level. No question.
EMP noting that his calculator, his Dragon Lord Fight Simulator, is indicating that it is certainly winnable with some favorable odds. A lot is dependent upon how your Fairy Waters roll. If you don't get ambushed, can't lose a heal more on the way down, which could be trouble with the fire-breathing red dragons. Hoodie did see Sharlock on his screen now, took that same path that Felissan had did. Yeah, right up there in the corner for Hoodie. Sees Sharlock, just needs to figure out that he can't get there from this continent, and he needs to find Swamp Cave, which I think is at least a few more screens away, if I recall. Felissan took a little bit extra time from this point to find Swamp Cave. And Felissan has a Sharlock entrance at about 51 minutes, 15 seconds.
All right, she is the first one in. Let's take a look. Oh boy, red dragons, everyone's favorite. So this could be a red dragon RNG luck situation, especially if they're at least here on the top zone. Chad has informed us, I didn't notice it, but apparently golems also have DL2 breath, so no flute for those. So certainly Felissan in the driver's seat. Hoodie just desperately looking for this entrance, and we'll see if Felissan can secure the win here.
Yeah, Hoodie's definitely looking to find Sharlock and go. He's not fighting any of these enemies. Felissan now down into basement 1, trying to get out of this zone, which also has armored knights. Ambushed by a red dragon, run fail on the red dragon. The version of the randomizer that we are playing here in the summer tournament does have the 4th run guarantee mercy rule turned on, but if you get ambushed, that doesn't count towards a run attempt.
All right, Red Dragon's in the middle zone as well, so the game is throwing absolutely everything it can at Felissan to try to keep Hoodie in this. Hoodie has finally found his pathing all the way around to Sharlock. He has all of his resources, but he has no Fairy Waters. As he was walking around, he was using Fairy Waters to cast Repel, so he is going to make a go of it without that, and I don't know how that's going to work.
Oh, it's going to be tricky math at that point. I wonder if Hoodie is going to be checking the Sharlock Treasury in that case for Fairy Waters, perhaps. That even one or two Fairy Waters could sway a fight like that. But if Felissan can keep on clearing through Sharlock, going around the U, she's almost at the basement, it'll be a moot point anyways.
Yeah, Fairy Water, Fighter's Ring. That's really the only thing that are going to help him at this point. If he were fighting things along the way, it certainly would have taken more time. Maybe level 16 gives him enough, but God, it is just not looking like it's going to work out. Meanwhile, Felissan does hit the bottom floor, the ball of light illuminating the final floor of the Dragon Lord. So far, mostly wizards, nothing super scary in this bottom zone, so apparently made it through the hardest of the Sharlock zones already. The spike tile could be the last speed bump to try to get over.
Still very tight here. If something goes wrong for Felissan, Hoodie is in a position to possibly have an attempt with these stats. I'm curious to see how this would play out with these stats. I kind of hope that we see that no matter what happens with the results of the race, if Hoodie plays this through with these stats.
All right, about to see a spike tile. Not quite. That's a wizard. That's not the spike tile. 2 more steps, and we have the Armored Knight. I don't think we've really seen these this seed. We've run into a couple, but we haven't seen if they have any abilities. So far, just a big axe swing. We'll see if we have to run into any heal mores or other shenanigans. Felissan, you know what? I like that. You got 7 extra MP. Blow through any heal more possibilities. We're not playing around. Let's finish this off.
Yeah, that's great awareness by Felissan. I like it.
What was I saying about speed bumps? Apparently the blue dragon speed bumps in this little hallway. Run block, stop spell. Hurt, run block, stop spell. Come on.
Okay, turning down the Dragon Lord's offer. Thou art a fool. All eyes on Felissan. Going to equip the Death Necklace.
That is going to bring her up to 131 attack power, so she'll have a range of 7 to 15 on her swings. Target 150 to 165 on the Dragon Lord as Hoodie hits the bottom floor, skips the treasury, and is going to go for it at 121.
I like the aggressive play. Like if you're gonna go for it, just go all out. As Felissan moves on to the second form of the Dragon Lord, here we go. Gets an ambush. Nine is the opening swing. Still gets a double out of that. 21. Felissan has a couple of Fairy Waters, going to start using those. 34 is the damage count. Dragon Lord has a hit point range between 150 and 165. $49 is Felissan's count as Hoodie rejects the Dragon Lord's offer.
I'm going to let you continue to count Felissan. I'm going to try to count over on Hoodie's side once we get in.
64 for Felissan. $76.
7.
86.
17.
94 for Felissan.
27 for Hoodie.
102.
37. Lots of 10s for Hoodie, which is his max.
$117 for Felissan.
43.
I lost count. That was a 7. 7 plus whatever she had before. She should be in good shape here.
I think we are at 55 and now 60 for Hoodie. $65.
Possible last swing for Felissan. 8 is enough. Get your GGs out in chat for Felissan.
I stopped counting on Hoodie's side. That fight was a lot closer than it needed to be. There were a lot of bad rolls at the end. Holy moly. Hoodie also had a long pause in his fight there once he hit for 5. So I wonder if he somehow forgot that he had unequipped the death necklace.
Might have had some math wrong. Getting those deceptive shots early, he was hitting on the high end of what we know his range is, but might have felt normal if he had his range miscalculated. Throws out a hurt more, throws on another one, 2 no effects. It's a 1 out of 16 chance, and that is going to be it. The Dragon Lord sends Hoodie down for the count.
Well, congratulations to Felissan. 59:09 is the official time. That was a sub-hour seed? It seems like so much happened. How did we manage to squeeze all that into less than an hour?
Wow, so much did happen. Very valiant effort there by Hoodie, especially given the circumstances. Almost had it even at the end, was just a minute behind on the getting to the Dragon Lord. You just wonder how differently things would have been if Hoodie would have had that death necklace. And we are joined now by Felissan. GG.
GG. I'm not beating the Jetseed Magnet allegations with this one.
We've been talking about that throughout the tournament. Felissan has had her share of Jetty seeds, whether it's an early hurt more or outrageous stat gains, or early Erdrick's armor or Erdrick's sword, and this seed had all of them because why not?
To be fair, that Erdrick's armor was kind of lucky on my end.
Yeah, the early armor pickup definitely helped you, especially although you got heal more right after that. The MP was just in the trash pretty much the entire seed until toward the end. Excuse me. So having that extra walking regen certainly made a difference. Plus, with all the DL2 breath, man, those red dragons.
Hey, at least they provided a very useful death warp.
As the seed was progressing, it went back and forth between where you were at and what you were discovering, Felissan, and what Hoodie was finding. You were first to armor, but then Hoodie was first to getting Erdrick's sword and the Stones of Sunlight out of Mountain Cave, so that you were on the clock to get back to Mountain and clear that. And then you were the first to Keys, and then Hoodie wasn't far behind on that. One big difference in the seed is Hoodie equipped the Death Necklace. We're going to assume accidentally, or perhaps accidentally without thinking through, that he would have to return to Tantagel and go underneath to trade in the harp for the Staff of Rain, and had to unequip the Death Necklace and such. At level 15, Hoodie did not have the Death Necklace and went to try to finish at the end either way and came up short in his Dragon Lord fight, but was just about a minute behind you. We had simultaneous Dragon Lord fights. It was a very exciting race.
Oh, nice. And yeah, I kind of considered the early Death Necklace play too, but with that terrible MP, I kind of didn't really want to chance it because there was just too much of a chance that I had run out of resources somewhere in the middle of nowhere and end up returning to Tantagel with no resources.
So now you get a chance to take a short breath, kind of take a step back. You are participating in your first Dragon Warrior Randomizer event, and you have advanced now to the round of 16 through a very close series, getting past HoodyTwoShoes. Your next opponent in the round of 16 will be DK9146, the winner of the 2020 DWR Summer Tournament. What are your thoughts on reaching this point in your first event and then facing DK?
It's obviously pretty impressive, kind of beyond the expectations I had placed on myself, especially seeing how I'd performed in the qualifiers. And as for the upcoming series against DK, obviously that's a scary opponent, but regardless of who I'm facing, just going in with the mentality that I just need to put on the best show I can.
And put on a good show. You certainly have done so far throughout the tournament. We can't forget that tiebreaker race in the Cantlin group as well, just to make the brackets. That was certainly an impressive performance as well. We do have Hoodie in the chat. I don't think he's going to be joining us here in the booth, but giving us a little bit of his thoughts. Apparently, DL2 Red Dragons were consequential in several of the recencies. I think at least 2 of the 3 in your race here. Again, Hoodie, I'm not sure if he addressed it specifically, but if we can get a clarity on that Death Necklace play, we're assuming that it was a mistake and not intentional, but if you want to let us know, that would be great. But otherwise, understandable, all things considered.
Hoodie confirming, forgot about the harp trait being under Tantagel. That was one thing that we suspected. That's a bummer, man. That's really unfortunate. It was very close, even regardless of that. About a minute difference in Sharlock entries, and quite a valiant fight against the Dragon Lord. Would have been very close here if one of those Hurtmores would have landed, had some favorable rolls. A lot of good action here in this series as well as through the entire tournament, and also want to recognize for HoodyTwoShoes the tremendous effort that he's put in throughout the tournament so far with getting the Red Slime Zone vodcasts and restreams done. We've just had so many races that we can't broadcast them all here on the DW Randomizer channel, and he's been awesome in getting those live where he can in the evenings, as well as catching them up during the daytime. I've been loving watching the races during the workday. Really appreciate you, Hoodie. And so we have, starting tomorrow, we have ourselves round of 16 bracket races coming up here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. It is 1 week, best 2 of 3 series, single elimination. So next week we will be at round of 16, and then round of 8, 4, and then finally our final 2 just a few weeks away. We're also going to have a community race here this evening, starting at our normal time at 8 p.m. Eastern. Everyone is welcome to join. Don't have to be part of the tournament. Just join in on race time, and we'll play through a seed and see what kind of shenanigans it's going to present for all of us here. And then next week, we'll be on to the round of 16. Anything you want to add, Felissan, before we wrap up the broadcast?
Not really, just thanking all of you, as always, for putting on the restream.
And speaking of which, thank you so much to Tanuki Monster for doing the restream for us on short notice this afternoon, as well as Schmike for taking care of the tracker throughout the race as well, especially with so much happening back and forth. We appreciate all the work that both of you have put in. And of course, I was very glad to be here in the booth with Destiny as well this afternoon. A pleasure as always, sir.
Likewise, appreciate you jumping in. Thank you to Tanuki Monster and Schmike. Schmike keeping us honest on all of the tracking. We are going to be raiding out to Darkest Mage, who is doing one of his Dragon Warrior 4 vanilla speed runs, trying to improve on world record attempt. That's always exciting to see. Lots of RNG chaos in that game. So for Diabetes II, I'm Destiny of a Dragon Warrior. Thank you, everyone involved. Thanks for watching. To all of our viewers, we'll see you next time.